Okay, what we have here is this battery-powered lawnmower by a company by the name of YARDCARE. You can see the name there. This is, again, a dual battery-operated cordless lawnmower. It's a 13-inch mower, so it's 13 inches for the blade across here. And you can see the blade is actually located in the central area, like most lawnmowers. It's got 5 levels. And you can see the control for it here, this light blue color here. This is the handle that adjusts the levels, 5 different levels. It's got a handle here because it's quite light, so you can actually pick it up and carry it. It claims to have 40 to 60 minutes of battery life. Operating at 3,200 RPMs. You can see the controls here on the handles, and it's got a screen here which gives you features such as the battery life remaining and so forth. So we're going to go ahead and test this lawnmower to see how well it works. I'm curious to see the performance of this, and then I'll have a few things to say once I've had the ability to test this. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go over a couple of different things here for this YARDCARE 13-inch mower here. And I am in the process of charging the batteries, so it's not working at the moment. But I thought I'd just highlight a couple of aspects to the assembly of this machine. So it basically comes in a few different components. You get the body as one piece, and then for the handle you get sort of this top upper piece, and then you get these legs here which go into the mower, and they're separated by this knob. So where you actually attach them together is this knob where you tighten them, and so you tighten the sort of the bottom part to the top part on either side. Then you slide in the poles here into these slots, and then you screw them in with the Phillips head screwdriver, which you need to provide. So that's how you basically assemble it. It's not much more difficult than that. The bag, it comes with a metallic body, and you essentially slide the mesh bag over it and snap it into place, and then you lift up this door and attach it to the mower. It's not very difficult. The other thing I just want to quickly highlight is when you actually want to adjust the different levels, this is the lever for doing so. Now I have to admit, when I was first using this, I was a little bit apprehensive, but just because the whole thing is made of plastic, so if I was worried that if I push too hard or pull too hard, I might end up breaking something. But the way you actually adjust the height is you pull this lever out and then across, and then you'll see here there's a few different levels here. There's 5 in total. I've got it on the second one, but the way you do that again is you pull it out and then across, or I guess forward we can say, and you put it into the appropriate slot. So that's how you adjust the height. I'm just going to give you a quick look underneath the mower here, just so you can get a sense of how this looks underneath. And you'll see that the blade is a metallic blade. It's a dual blade, as you can see here, but with the exception of the blade, the rest of this, as I said, is basically all plastic. So you are looking at a very light machine. And in fact, they've got a handle right here which I can use to lift this, which is not much of a problem. I'd say it's certainly less than 20 pounds, but I don't have the batteries in yet. The batteries go into this slot here. And then you'll snap this shut once the batteries are inside. And then one last thing, as we go across here to the top, you've got the handle here where you'll grab the mower and you'll be pushing it. And you've got this little screen here which apparently shows the battery charge and so forth, and you can adjust speeds and so forth. But I'll have more to say about that once I actually get the batteries charged. We can actually get a look at the LED screen. So anyways, I thought I'd just highlight a few aspects of this, especially with respect to the assembly and the weight. It's not very heavy at all, and again, it doesn't require too much assembly. Just basically it's the handle and the bag that you have to put together. So let's continue on, and once I get the batteries charged, we'll go from there. Okay, so before I actually fire this up, I just wanted to give one more look at the bottom side of this lawnmower. The reason I wanted to do this is just because this is mainly plastic, so you're looking at plastic on this component, you're looking at plastic throughout the whole thing except for the metal blade. The wheels are also plastic, and so The entire machine, for the most part, is actually made of plastic, but you do actually find that the blade is metal, so that's nice to see, and it's quite sharp to touch, so just be careful of that. And again, just pointing out that the majority of this is plastic, and as a result, it's actually quite light to carry. I'm able to simply carry this around and hang it up when I'm done using it. So next I'm going to go ahead and fire this up, and we'll take a look at the screen that comes with the machine and see what we can get from that before we actually go ahead and actually use this. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up this lawnmower. So I've put the batteries into the battery bay here, and I'm just going to go ahead and power this up. And the way we do this will be press the power button. We can choose the plus or minus sign for either increasing or decreasing the speed. So increasing it will give you RPMs of 3,200. At the lower speed it's 2,800. And then we depress this button here and grab the handles, and that should power it up. In addition to the actual speed, the screen here will show the battery charge on top for each battery. It'll also show the error code, and then it'll also show whether or not it's on a high or low speed. So I just wanted to give you a heads up because I'm going to power this up right now. It's going to be a bit noisy, so if you want to turn down your volume, it might be a good time to do that. Okay, so we've got it up, so we've got the battery charge, we've got no error codes here, and we can choose between the low and the high speed, so you can see how it changes. And I'm going to put on the low speed to begin, then I'm just going to press this button and grab the handles and get it going. So let me see if I can do this with one hand. And simply by letting go of the handle, it turns off the machine almost instantly. So you could see I was able to reach over with one finger and switch it over from the low to the high speed. And I'm sure you could hear the slight difference in the RPMs going from 2,800 to 3,200. But that's basically how you use this. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut my lawn, and then I'll come back with some final thoughts regarding the machine's performance. Okay, so I just want to give some final thoughts regarding this YARDCARE lawnmower. Again, it's a battery-powered lawnmower. It's got two batteries that are equipped in the front here. And I'll just release the hatch so you can see that's where the batteries are stored. This lawnmower worked pretty well. I was actually quite impressed with it. The one thing that I'm going to have to be cognizant of is the fact that I have a rather large backyard, and this is not going to be able to cover that all with one charge. So using it in the much smaller front yard was pretty simple and worked really well. But once I got to my backyard, the battery ran out, and so I had to sit around and wait for it to recharge before I was able to continue cutting the grass. So that's something that I'm going to have to deal with in the future, and just accept the fact that if I want to use this lawnmower, I'm going to have to during the mid-cut of my backyard, stop in order to recharge the batteries and then continue. So I'm not too sure whether I'm going to use this with my backyard, but it certainly works well in my front yard. And actually, because my front yard has quite a bit more flowers and that sort of thing, it actually is easier to maneuver between them, and because of its small size, it actually works much better than my other larger lawnmower. So I'll use this in the front yard going into the future, but I'll have to continue using my other lawnmower for the backyard just because of the fact that it's a little bit larger and allows me to get through the entire cut without having to recharge. But this is quite nice, quite light. I think once you pick it up, you're going to be surprised at just how light this is. And again, if you are looking for something for a small sized yard, this is going to work out well. If it's something in the medium range, something like up to 100 feet. This is something that's going to be a bit of a challenge for this mower. So just keep that in mind. You've got some limitations with respect to this lawnmower, and it really comes down to the charge of the battery. Other than that, functionality, it's quite nice, and it's easy to clean. I was able to clean it quite well. There's still a couple of spots here, but it was relatively easy to clean. I'm going to be able to actually hang this in my garage and store it away and use it for the next couple of months over the summertime. So anyways, this has been a quick review of this YARDCARE 13-inch battery-powered lawnmower, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one.